Every lie becomes truth the moment you decide it's comforting enough to believe. You don't hold beliefs because they were true. You hold them because they feel good, because they make the chaos bearable. But what if every belief you've built your identity around was a cage built for you, not by you? This is the philosophy they didn't want you to learn. Nietzsche's warning about the comfort of lies, and Foucault's revelation that truth itself was designed to control you. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. From the moment you're born, you're given a script. What's right, what's wrong, what's real. You're told who to admire, who to fear, what to chase, and what to avoid. You don't choose your beliefs. They're installed in you by parents, teachers, priests, influencers, governments, algorithms, and you call that truth. But Nietzsche once said, "Convictions are more dangerous enemies of truth than lies." Because once you believe something deeply, you'll fight to protect it, even if it's killing you. Nietzsche understood something terrifying. Human beings aren't truth seekers. We're meaning seekers. We'll choose a beautiful illusion over a brutal reality every single time. That's why religion survived even when science arrived. That's why ideologies outlived the evidence against them. That's why people would rather argue than think. Nietzsche called this the will to truth, the instinct that drives people to find something, anything that feels absolute. Because the alternative, chaos, uncertainty, freedom, is too unbearable. So we lie to ourselves. We say, this is who I am, this is what's right, this is what's true. And we cling to it, not because it's true, but because we can't live without it. Nietzsche saw belief as a kind of self-hypnosis, a way to avoid the abyss. But the abyss doesn't disappear because you close your eyes. It waits, patiently. Now Michel Foucault took Nietzsche's suspicion and turned it into a weapon. He asked, who decides what's true? His answer was brutal. Power does. Foucault showed that every institution, the church, the school, the prison, the hospital, doesn't just control people's actions, it controls what they're allowed to think. He called it the regime of truth, the invisible network of rules that defines what counts as knowledge and what gets labeled as madness, blasphemy, or conspiracy. Every era creates its own truth and punishes those who don't kneel before it. In medieval times, truth came from God. In the Enlightenment, from reason. Today, it comes from data. But the pattern never changed. Someone always stands above the crowd and says this is true, that is false, believe this, ignore that. Foucault's point was never that truth doesn't exist, it's that truth is managed, manufactured, curated by those who benefit from your obedience. Think about your own beliefs, your political views, your morals, your idea of success, love, identity. You think you chose them, but did you? Or did the world choose them for you? Your favorite opinions are just social currencies. You learned which ones earn applause and which ones cost you belonging. So you adjusted. You evolved to be liked, not to be free. You became a believer in your own illusion. Nietzsche called this herd morality, the instinct to conform, to stay safe within the pack. And it's this instinct that turns belief into a trap. You don't question, because questioning risks exile. You don't doubt, because doubt makes you weak in the eyes of others. So you keep believing the lies you like enough to keep. And that's how power wins. Not through fear, but through comfort. The most dangerous people in history weren't liars. They were believers, those who were absolutely sure they were right. Nietzsche saw this clearly in the moral systems of his time. He said that modern morality, especially the Christian idea of good and evil, was just slave morality, built by the weak to control the strong. Foucault saw the same mechanism in modern science, medicine, even sexuality. He argued that knowledge was never neutral. It always served a function, to categorize, to normalize, to discipline. In other words, truth became a prison dressed as progress. When you think about it, every system tells you, this is what a good person looks like. This is how success feels. This is what sanity means. But who wrote that script? And why are you so afraid to question it? Here's the final twist. Even you, the one questioning right now, are part of the lie. Your sense of I is just another story you've accepted, a collage of borrowed ideas shaped by culture and memory. Nietzsche called the self an invention, a bundle of drives pretending to be one voice. Foucault would add, that voice speaks the language of the system. Your beliefs, your identity, even your rebellion, are all recycled narratives. You don't escape the matrix by rejecting it. You escape by realizing you are it. So how do you break free? You can't destroy the system, but you can stop worshipping it. You can start by doubting yourself, by holding every belief you have under the light and asking, who benefits from me believing this? If it gives someone else power, it's not your belief, it's your leash. If it feels too comfortable, it's not truth. It's anesthesia. Nietzsche said, one must still have chaos in oneself to give birth to a dancing star. Chaos isn't your enemy, it's your liberation. Foucault called it the care of the self, not as a selfish act, but as resistance. A way to live intentionally, not obediently. Because in a world where truth is manufactured, doubt is the last act of freedom. You've been told your whole life to believe in something, but maybe the real power is in believing less. Maybe the most radical act today is to stand in uncertainty and still move forward. So ask yourself tonight, which beliefs are truly yours? And which ones are just lies you liked enough to keep? If this made you question even one thing you took for granted, you've already begun the rebellion. Stay curious, stay uncomfortable, and if you're ready to go deeper into the dark side of philosophy, subscribe, because on Vox says we don't chase comfort, we chase truth, even when it hurts.